So I want to go through and do all these problems out from Exam 2, Chapter 7 that's in your booklet. And for the test code that it goes along with this is actually 792. It's just the test generator that I used. So the first problem we have is we're simplifying. And the numerator, I can factor out a 4. So I get 4 times t minus 5. The denominator is the difference of two perfect squares. So that's going to give me t minus 5 times t plus 5. The t minus 5's cancel. So that just simplifies to 4 over t plus 5. Number 2, we can factor the numerator and denominator. So the numerator factors to x plus 4 times x minus 1. The denominator factors to x plus 4 times x plus 2. Those x plus 4's cancel, so we're left with x minus 1 over x plus 2. Number 3, we're multiplying and simplifying. So we have all these powers of v's. So first I'm just going to look at the real numbers and get that out of the way. Nothing simplifies, so I'm just going to multiply to 2 times 3 on top to get 6, and we have that 5 on the bottom. Now I'm going to deal with these v's. So I'm just going to rewrite it over here really quickly. We have v to the 4th on top, and when you put those together on the bottom, it becomes v to the 13th. So these 4 v's are going to knock out 4 of the v's on the bottom. So we'll end up with just 1 on top and v to the 9th on the bottom. So I'm going to put it back together over here, and I get 6 over 5v to the 9th. Alright, number 4, we're multiplying still for number 4, and I need to factor each numerator and denominator. So the first one, the x squared minus 25y, is the difference of two squares. So it's x minus 5y times x plus 5y. Underneath it, I just have an x plus y. That next numerator, I have a greatest common factor of 4, so I can take that 4 out. And on the bottom, I have a greatest common factor of 7. So when I factor that out, I have 7 times x minus 5y. So this x plus y and x plus y cancel. X minus 5y and x minus 5y cancel. So I'm just left with x plus 5y on top and a 7 on the bottom. Now the next couple problems is division. So it's a lot like multiplication, it's just we have one extra step. We have to flip what's after the division sign, and then it becomes a multiplication. So this is 21 over x to the 9th, and then times 2x to the 7th over 3. So I can start simplifying. 3 goes into 3 once, 3 goes into 21 7 times. This x to the 7th is going to be gone, and that x to the 9th on the bottom becomes x squared. So I have 7 times 2 on top, and I have an x squared on the bottom. Number 6, we have a lot of factoring to do before we do it. So I'm going to factor as I go because I don't have a lot of space. So I'm going to start with the x squared minus 12x plus 35. So that factors to x minus 5 times x minus 7. Underneath it, x squared minus 2x minus 15 is x minus 5 times x plus 3. Now on the other side, this has to be flipped. So the x squared minus x minus 20 is going to go in the numerator, and the x squared minus 3x minus 28 is going to go in the denominator. So I'm going to keep factoring as I do that. So on top now, this is going to be x minus 5 times x plus 4. And then for that x squared minus 3x minus 28, that gets on the bottom. So we get x minus 7 times x plus 4. So start simplifying. The x plus 4's cancel. X minus 5's cancel. X minus 7's cancel. So I'm left with x minus 5 on top and an x plus 3 on the bottom. For number 7, we're adding. So this already has a common denominator, and because it already has a common denominator, I can just add the numerators. So I get 8x plus 9 over x minus 7. That can't be simplified, so that's as far as I can go for that. Number 8 is a subtraction, and we don't have common denominators, so I need to say what the LCD is. Well, 8 and 2, I know 8, and then p and p squared, I have to take the greater power, so my LCD is going to be 8p squared. So this first one, all I'm missing is a factor of p, so I'm going to have to multiply that by p over p. The second one, I'm missing a factor of 4, so I'm going to multiply this by 4 over 4. So I get 3p minus 20, and then it's over 8p squared. Again, I can't factor that. If I could, I have to and try and simplify it, but there's nothing to simplify. Number 9, I have another subtraction, and again, my denominators aren't the same. This one gets a little bit messier. It's a subtraction, but there's multiple terms, so I have to make sure I distribute that. Since one denominator is 7, the other is 5, then the LCD is 35. So I'm going to multiply this first one by 5 over 5. And I'm going to multiply the second one by 7 over 7. So distribute that first top, we get 5p plus 30 over 35. And then I'm going to multiply the second one, so we get 28p plus 21 over 35. So what I didn't do yet is distribute that negative sign. So I'm just going to change these signs. I'm going to make this a plus, and then this is going to be negative now, and then this term is also going to be negative. So combining like terms, 5p and negative 28p gives me a negative 23p. And then I have 30 and negative 21, so they combine to 9. And they're all over 35. Number 10, I have another subtraction problem. My denominators aren't matching, so I need to see what factor is missing. Well, this is a difference of two perfect squares. It's 4 minus t, 4 plus t. So I have the 4 plus t, but what I'm missing is the 4 minus t. So that's what I have to multiply the top one from, the first one from. And then this is a subtraction, so I'm going to take care of that too. I'm going to make it an addition and make the t negative and the 8 negative. So distributing the first part, we get 16 minus 4t over what amounts to 16 minus t squared if you multiply it out. And then I have the negative t minus 8 over 16 minus t squared. So I can combine my like terms. Negative 4t and negative t gives me a negative 5t, and 16 minus 8 gives me 8, and then it's over 16 minus t squared, or you could write it the 4 minus t, 4 plus t, whichever form you want is fine.